Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and in this video, we have just learned that essences are going to be effectively account-wide starting next week. Okay, not effectively account-wide, but a huge step forward has been made towards account-wide essences that I'm pretty comfortable just calling account-wide essences. So let's read this post right now. Building on a great deal of feedback and discussion, we're working on an update to the game. With the next regularly scheduled weekly maintenance in each region, so Tuesday or Wednesday, players who have earned a given rank 3 essence on one character will be able to directly obtain that essence from Mother on any subsequent characters. So this doesn't help on mains or anything returning characters, but if you have any alts, this will work for them. When playing an alt character that is missing essences that have already been earned on a different character, most ordinary Visions of N'Zoth activities, such as Horrific Visions, Assaults, Raid Bosses, Mythic Keystone Dungeons, BFA Season 4 PvP, will award a new soulbound currency, Echoes of Ny'alotha. These echoes can be brought to Mother in the Heart Chamber and exchanged directly for eligible rank 3 essences. So the word eligible here is a little bit of a question mark, if exactly what that means. This could mean that there are only some essences that are on the list of eligible ones, but I instead think that this probably just means it's eligible if you have it already on a main, like if you already have that rank 3 essence on another character, given the way that this paragraph is worded. So I think that this probably means that every essence is included in this, assuming you have it on another character. If there are any essences that aren't included, like if this means the other thing, I would probably guess that it would be the new ones. So that would be like the ones that have corruption resistance on them. So Strength of the Warden, Formless Void, what's the other one? Touch of the Everlasting, Breath of the Dying, Spark of Inspiration, Spirit of Preservation, Unwavering Ward. So if eligible means only certain specific essences, that would be what I'd guess it means. But my actual reading of this is that there are no restrictions on essences, and this is, any of them, including those, if you have them on another character. While ordinarily, each specific essence must be learned in order to unlock it for other characters via Mother. So ordinarily, you need the exact correct essence on a main to then get that same essence on an alt. All essences associated with Nazjatar and Mechagon reputations will be available if any other different character has earned any of the essences available from that reputation. So a lot of people have actually been confused by what this paragraph means. It means that if you have, so say you have, a character with Purification Protocol rank 3, that's the Mechagon essence for DPS, and you don't have any characters with Null Barrier rank 3, Nullification Dynamo rank 3, this just means that those essences are going to have a different set of rules where, assuming you have any rank 3 Nazjatar essence, you can get all the ones, even if you don't already have that one. So, if you never had a tank character, you can still get the tank essence at rank 3, and you don't need to get Revered with Nazjatar, assuming you have Revered with Nazjatar and one of the right essences on one of the other characters. So, great little thing there. Our goal with this update is to preserve the efforts that players put into unlocking a given essence through its associated activity the first time, while offering subsequent characters far more flexibility in pursuing that goal. We'll have additional details in a forthcoming hotfixes update that goes out around the same time as maintenance, but we wanted to let the community know ASAP that this change is in the works. As always, thank you for their feedback on this topic. So basically, this is a complete victory for anybody who has ever had this experience of looking at your character select screen and wanting to play an alt and not and deciding that you can't bring. Okay, so look at this list of essences, right? You have this list of essences. You have so much flexibility in what you can play. You have everything you might need. You have the good essences for your spec, and you decide, what, I'm going to play a mage or whatever. I had this experience recently, and you hop on your mage, and this is after a couple weeks of doing stuff on my mage. I have quite a few. I've done quite a few dungeons, horrific visions, and stuff. I've played. Actually, I can take a look at slash played here. I can take a look at my slash played on this guy even. Once it loads in. Okay, here we go. Slash played. So this guy has 15 hours at this level. And if you look at your list of essences on this kind of character, there's just such a, even after 15 hours of having played, it feels like there's such a long way to go before you have even close to a complete spellbook of essences. These green and blue ones may as well not exist in terms of how it feels for players looking at this set of essences. And of course, there's a huge set of gray essences that I could grind another 30,000 honor on another character for Blood of the Enemy, but in practice, I was just not going to play other alts Well, I was maybe still going to do it because I was maybe going to want to make videos on it, so I was maybe resigning myself to grinding these things, but most people ended up just deciding not to make alts given the old system. So the new system, what this means is that alts are definitely back on the table. You are still going to have to play them. You don't just immediately get your rank 3 essences, but you're no longer going to have to make a decision about which alt to play based on which one has BIS essences that come from the right kind of content. So for instance, like making a Havoc Demon Hunter alt for Mythic Plus has been really easy because the good essences like Focusing Iris and Vision of Perfection come from Mythic Plus, and so you could just, you could just do weekly keys and do Mechagon keys on that guy and have good essences for Mythic Plus. But for a lot of other characters, it's not the same. So instead of having to make that decision, you can now just make an alt. If you're somebody who likes PvP, you can get all your essences from PvP on your alt. If you're somebody who likes Mythic Plus, you can get all of your essences from Mythic Plus on your alt. You still have to have done the actual steps for the essence on your main character, but you're no longer required, like I have been doing on this guy, to go back to Nazjatar and do ally quests because you need Memory of Lucid Dreams because you're playing a mage, and that was really, really stupid. So this is an excellent change here. It does mean that you might, so we're seeing Horrific Visions are a source here. You may be interested in stockpiling your Horrific Visions entries on your alts until this will reward these Echoes of Nyalotha. We have yet to see what the reward structure is like for these, so we have yet to know if more mask runs award more of these or not. We have yet to learn, like, do you get more from Mythic versus Heroic versus Normal? Do you get them from your weekly box or just from end of dungeon run? These are things that are going to affect the rate at which you gain these, but as long as they pick a reasonable rate where you can get, a rank 3 essence in like a week or two, like a week for an alt that you play quite a bit of, or 2 for a character you log on like once a week on, I think that would be excellent. So really excited about this change. Now, another change that I'm also going to talk about in this video is Horrific Vision rewards always being corrupted. So starting next week, all gear rewards from Horrific Visions will be corrupted. Next week is also the first week where you can get your cloak up to rank 15. So if you've been staying current on your cloak and you have a rank 15 cloak, this should be an excellent source of, at the very least, 465 corruption every week. The way that Horrific Visions loot work, if you haven't been really engaging with the system, and you now are going to because the corrupted items are guaranteed, you can do these mask runs that get you up to 470 loot. You can get 1 470 piece a week from your first 5 mask clear of the week, and then after that, you only need to do easy 4 mask clears, and you'll get, a 465, and then a 460, and then a 455, and then a 450. You have to make a decision for yourself how many of these pieces you want each week, how many corrupted pieces you want. Theoretically, for many characters, even down to like the 430 or 420 level, there may be some corruptions that you would use for some stuff. But in practice, I think most people are going to do, 4 or 5 Horrific Visions per week on a main and get those guaranteed corrupted items. But you may be interested in, stockpiling your visions starting now for next week for this, and then also for the essence thing on your alts. And the cool thing is, this doesn't even affect alts. Like if you've main swapped recently, this will help your new main get the essences that your alts already had. So this is really awesome. All around a great change. The main thing, I guess, to do is something that has dramatically increased in value is doing assaults, any source of coalescing visions. Coalescing visions are now a much more valuable resource than they were before because they are going to be corrupted gear next week and they are essences on your alts. So doing your lesser vision every day, doing all the assaults that are available, even doing some daily quests, those are now a great use of your time this week. And then stockpiling those entry tokens and using them in future weeks once these 2 changes are implemented. You can still do Horrific Visions this week. You can still, if you know that you're going to be getting enough tokens going forward, that you're always going to have as many as you want, then that's fine to still do your runs this week. But otherwise, I would save them till next week. And the strategy I would use for next week is, so next week you need to do 4 runs to get your cloak to rank 15. If you're like a fairly main character that has played a lot of this game and you have your cloak is already ranked 14 as of now, what I would do next week, if you are questionable about whether or not a 5 mask clear in Stormwind, depending on the madnesses, is something you can do, I would do your first 4 runs to get your cloak to rank 15 on 4 masks. And then you can collect the 465 reward, the 460, the 455, and the 450. Upgrade your cloak to rank 15, get up to that 80% sanity loss reduction level, and then do a 5 mask clear to get yourself a 470 corrupted item. This is going to be a huge spike in how easy it is to power up alts and also to power up mains too. Getting these, many guaranteed sources of, like you get 3 sources of heroic or better corrupted items, guaranteed from just Horrific Visions. If you can do those 5 mask clears, that's going to be a really awesome thing to do. If you're interested in checking it out, I do have 5 mask full clears for both Orgrimmar and Stormwind on this YouTube channel. They were both done with like half as much sanity resist as you're going to be able to have starting next week with the rank 15 cloak. So very, very much a doable thing. Honestly, I think any spec can probably do it solo. I mean, any spec can do it solo. They've all been done. But even if your character's not all that geared, you can take it slow now and do a 5 mask clear once you get that Gift of the Titans research unlocked. And if your cloak is, kept up to 14 or 15. And if you can do it in a group, if your character's a little bit weak, or if you have a weak character, maybe you can swap somebody. You can carry one of their guys and they can carry one of your guys. That's something that at this point, a very geared character can probably carry somebody else through a 5 mask run. So those are some options for you. That's some stuff to do in the coming weeks. But basically, more Horrific Visions. Horrific Visions are getting more valuable. But even if you don't want to do Horrific Visions, you don't need to on your alts. You should to level your cloak up, but you don't need to you could just do only the cloak leveling up quests and not bother with anything else, and just do whatever source of content you want for essences. This is an amazing change. I cannot overstate just how great this change is. So I'm really happy to see this. That's been my little update and my thoughts on everything. Hope you guys are looking forward to this as well. I know some people, every time I made videos calling for account-wide essences, said that I didn't want to do work, which I have 7 Bloods of the Enemy on my account. I have multiple characters that had essence pages looking like that first one. It's not for me. It's something for the health of the game. And I think it's going to be a time where you can tell your friends, like, you can come back and play this game. You can tell your guildies who've been raid logging on one character and want to play the game more, but the way they'd want to play the game is to have an alt, and they don't want to put themselves through the hell that is alt grinding essences. Those players can now, get back into the game. So I think this is going to be a great change. I think that everybody who wants to play WoW, in certain ways on their alts, which I think is the way that alts should work, right? The way that alts should work is that, you have to do everything on your main character if you want to be super powerful. On your alts, you should be able to, a couple months later, come back in and have a Mythic Plus character, and be able to make that Mythic Plus character not as good as a main, but competitive, close, able to do the same kinds of content. And that really wasn't true until this change will be implemented next week, and that is fantastic. So if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. I'll have more content. I'll have some Horrific Visions, like suggestions. Also, maybe more guide content, as now that we know pretty much everything about them, coming out in the next couple weeks as well. So if you want to learn some more tips and tricks, I'll have maybe one more video about that to really summarize everything that I've learned about them. But that is going to be all for this video. So thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.